Okay, hello. This is my week one assignment. What I did for this week is essentially a fountain, and I randomly generated across this area. So I'm just going to explain the model itself, and then I'm going to show you how it works in the scene here, and then I'm going to explain the coding. So just to start off, I'm just going to put these right in the scene here, just as examples. So for my model, or set of models, I created three of the same model for a fountain. And what effectively that means is I created this base as the forefront for each of the models. And then I created, I should mention all three of these spaces are the same, but for each of these I created a second base, a center, and then a top piece for each, and made each of them unique. And what I effectively did is in this, if you go here, this is the actual design in the scene for the game scene. I essentially had the base part of the fountain be the main parent, with the first base, or these kind of three sections here, being the three children, and then the middle and the top parts of each being the grandchildren, and essentially the second kind of children's for these second base parents here, effectively, these sections. And for each one, I just wanted to create a sort of unique base of geometry for each. I was looking to just generally have a kind of unique shape and form. And the textures you see here are modeled all in, excuse me, the textures were got off free images, Getty images, and I just kind of imported them and put them all together here in scene. And yeah, so now I'm just gonna jump into how these look in the scene. So what I'm going to do, I unfortunately do not have a button. I do not unfortunately do not have time, but I'm going to just show you the basics of how the model works here. So pardon. So what's happening is each of these models is being randomly generated and in scene, and they are all being spread out along this grid here. So it's very similar to the Paul and Wall section, which was introduced to us previously. I actually did base a portion of this off the same engine, and also, excuse me, this is a new version of Unity. So I just really set these all up to be a sort of random kind of thing, and every time these spawn, each one is a different type of random model, and each one disappears. So in the actual Maya scene, I had this is all one model, by the way, I should mention. Each of these isn't all just like separate models completely. This is all just one base model. So what I did was I made one model, and then I hid each section in Maya, and then I had imported each section there into Unity in order to create it. So effectively, each one is being hidden in these scenes right now as it's being played, and also with the code as well, I've also taken measures to hide each one as well, in order to kind of showcase how each one is changing, and then also moving around to effectively go around the scene here. And in terms of code, I actually did keep it a bit more basic. I accidentally imported the game scene here, but actually I can just show you here. The two ones I focus on are are called object generator and object spawner. So the object generator is in scene here, if I'm correct. Game object is the object spawner. So the object spawner is it's essentially a form of the code that we did in class as a variation. Fortunately, I'm not the best with coding, so I kind of had to more so just heavily focus on the modeling and general output than this coding. So a decent portion of code is similar to the example, and then the form here is essentially to spawn the objects and spawn them all into random areas. And now for the object generator, each of these showcases the range and rotation of the object, and it also helps to find a descendant of each of these. The code here helps to define each of the descendants of the children, and so it identifies each section. And for the when they randomly spawn the model, they effectively, so this was effectively what I did with this set for this week, and I'm happy to have created this kind of work and these models, and just overall I think it looks pretty good. So thank you, and have a good night.